Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is mcpeachpies and today I'm going to be showing you guys how the balanced baby zombies command block concept works. Now this is a different way of me doing command block concepts. Originally what I did was first show off the concept and then show how it worked after that. But I decided not to do that and to make it into separate videos, as what was happening is people were just watching the showcase and then not everyone is interested in how it works. So I figured if people want to see how it works, then they can let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video about it. So the baby zombies, balanced baby zombies, I was quite happy with how it turned out, but as you can see it's not exactly like the most straightforward thing. I'm saying that because of the redstone clock you can see running there. So I'll cover that and I'll also cover all the other features. You'll also notice that the command looks a bit different to when I actually showcased it, and I'll also go over what changes I've made since the concept video. So if you haven't seen the concept video, you should definitely go watch it because it's quite a good way of showing off all the features. Of course I will be showing them again here as I go over how each feature works. So I guess we should probably start off with the simple one and then move on to the more advanced one. Okay, so the first thing here is these command blocks along here. So I've made it a bit more compact just by putting these extra command blocks here instead of having them on another clock or repeating command block. So what this is this here will first tag any zombies that do not already have the tag that are babies. So this is just to make sure I can select all baby zombies and not normal adult zombies. And then what it does is it tags all, it gives the effect of slowness 1, or slowness 2 I should say, as 1 is 0. Slowness 2 to all baby zombies and it will hide the particles. So that just slows down all baby zombies so they don't run as fast. And then this here is the command block that gets the daytime and then saves that daytime as a scoreboard objective, which you can see on the side there. So that is what runs into this next lot of command blocks. So the first part's pretty straightforward. This is just the 2 command blocks just to give baby zombie slowness. Okay, so this is the next, or the second part I should say, that's a lot more, I guess, complex. It's not that difficult to understand in terms of how it works, but as you can see it uses a few more command blocks, and most of them are pretty much repetitive, so the same command just for a slightly different functionality, but I'll get to that in a second. So first here, since the concept video I've added in this command blocks here, these two. So the first one, what it's actually doing is checking for the time is between 0 and 12,500, so that's basically during the day, and then I'll get to that one in a second as well. But what this one is doing, so I added this in after I made the concept video because this one then detects between 23,700 and 23,999, so that's basically the time range of which zombies actually start to burn, but of course you can't go that 23,700 to 12,500, that would just mess up the detection. So I had to make a second command block just so I could start before the actual day begins again, as zombies do start burning before time 0. And so what this command block here does, this I use quite a lot now, as what it does is allows you to run a whole bunch of chain command blocks only if this one returns true, so you don't have to make them all conditional or don't have to worry about extra lag and stuff like that. Plus it makes it a lot easier to code or lay out. So that's what that does. So if either of these return true, as of the time is that time, it will then set this command block to always active, which will then instantly set back to needs redstone. So it only fires once. So yeah, so now what happens is it's executing all players. I added this in as well, I changed slightly since when we made it. Execute a player, tag any zombies in a radius of 30 with check burn if that zombie is a baby and is not on fire. So I added this just to help reduce a bit of lag, because there was getting quite a lot of lag, and you'll see why in a second. So what that does is any babies that aren't on fire are given that tag. So here, this is the one I think goes through right up to about here. Yep, so what this is this is checking for if they're wearing armor. So as you can see here, the ones with any helmets or any mob skulls don't burn, whereas the normal ones without any hats, I guess I should say, do burn or do not burn if they're covered, but I'll get to the cover one in a second. So, yeah, so what this is doing is scoreboard players tag any entities with the tag checkburn, remove checkburn if they have a helmet, so it's leather, chain, iron, golden, diamond, and this one is just for if they have a skull on their head. So yeah, unfortunately if I was going to make it work with blocks, for example, then you would need one command block for every block, whereas with skulls it's a lot simpler because it's just, you can just do skull as each skull. It's just the same block but it has a different data tag, or damage value I should say. So that's what those commands do. That's mainly what makes it so much longer, just so it can remove the tag from any zombies that have a helmet or a skull. So what this one here is doing is setting, giving, I should say, the scoreboard value to all the zombies with checkburn. This is just so it can be checked, otherwise it wouldn't be able to detect those zombies. So 1 is the default, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay, so mysterious jump cut, because I just had to go look something up because I completely forgot how a command actually worked. But here, so back to this command. What this is doing is, as I said, I'm not sure where I'm going to cut it, but it's going to be a bit tricky considering I was just talking straight. But anyway, so execute any entities with the tag checkburn. It's going to clone the block from their position to the top of the world, which is 255. And then it's going to be masked and forced. Force is just so it can override itself, because usually if you don't have that, it will say you cannot clone the original source on top of itself. But then what mask does is, mask means that it can only clone non-ear blocks. So that means that if we summon these zombies in here, you'll see that these ones aren't burning because there's an ear block above them. However, those ones are. And if we go scoreboard, objectives, display, sidebar, check ear, you'll see the ones with 0 are burning and the ones with 1 are not burning. And the reason this is, here you go, so the ones with 1 are still alive. And so they don't get set on fire because they can successfully clone this block above them. But if we take that out, it'll start burning. And then if we put it back in, once it stops burning, if it doesn't die, it will, there you go, set back to 1, because it can successfully clone that block above it. So as you can see here, what this one is doing, this is just saving the statistic of the entity after it's run that clone command. So then it's saving the success count, 1 being that it can successfully clone the blocks, and 0 being that it can't clone the blocks. So that's why the masked option, the masked mode is there. So again, if it can clone a block, it's going to be set to 1. If it can't, it's going to be set to 0. So then what it goes on and does the entity data of any entities the tag of checkburn and a check ear score of 0, meaning that they cannot clone the blocks, meaning that there's only ear above them. It will set them on fire for about 8 seconds. I think that's right, about 8 seconds, yeah. Which will then, yeah, burn them, and then, of course, after it's burned them for that long, it'll check again, and then start burning them again if there's still air above them. And then this command finally just removes the checkburn tag from any entities that already have it. That way, if we go back to time set 0, you'll see if we break this block again, it'll get cut on fire, and then so that way it can just reset the checkburn thing afterwards. Okay, so that's basically the primarily how it works for the slowness and the setting on fire. But now I'll mention these command blocks. When we made this in the live stream, we came across this issue. So what these command blocks are doing are constantly changing the block data of, I believe it is this command block here, which is the stats command, because we came across an issue where that command block wouldn't actually register unless it was being updated constantly. So what we had to do is we had to make this clock here. It wouldn't work on a 20 Hz clock, it was too quick, so we had to make it so it could change it back and forth quite rapidly, setting it to always active and back to always active, and then back to needs redstone constantly, so it was constantly being updated. And that's mainly one of the issues why I haven't made this an official release or anything yet. However, I would be willing to try and find a workaround, and I'm pretty sure I can think of a way to do it. So if you guys do want to get an official release for this, I would be more than happy to do it. However, I'm not sure of the functionality of it in a proper survival sense. I know that it would probably work okay on single player, but I have noticed it's really a lot of baby zombies. For example, we go time set night here, and which is it? This one. If we spawn heaps of them in, quite a few. I mean, it's very rare that you're going to get this many zombies in one spot. But then if we go time set 0 now, and we spawn more in, eventually it's gonna, here you go, it's gonna really reduce the tick speed and my frame rate. Yeah, so it is, it's not exactly perfect, but again, I would be willing to try and work around that and find some type of proper release. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything that I missed or anything that you are a bit more confused about. I know we went over it quite quickly. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my other concept videos, and I'll see you later.